let you know. But now you're leaving. How many hearts must you break? But how many calls must I make? But now you're leaving. In this world, all that I choose has come up and gone. But love is in your touch. Oh, it's killing me so much. Only when you leave, I need to love you. And when the action has gone, I'm just another fool enough to need you. Fool enough to love. Only when you leave danger. Oh, I'll make sure that you pay to give a little passion to a stranger. Take this soul away. I only wanna make things last, so I can get some thoughts fast. But now you're leaving. How many times must I learn? It's only when you're gone that I burn. Now you're leaving. In the end, all that is left has come up and gone. It's hard to change your mind, so leave it all behind. Only when you leave, I need to love you. And when the action has gone, I'm just another fool enough to need you. Fool enough to love. Only when you leave danger. Oh, I'll make sure that you pay. So give a little passion to a stranger. Take this soul away. In the afterglow, I only wanna learn what you know. But now you're leaving. How many hearts must you break? How many calls must I make? But now you're leaving. In this world, all that I choose has come up and gone. Love is in your touch. Ooh, it's killing me so much. Only when you leave, I need to love you. And when the action has gone, I'm just a little fool enough to need you. Fool enough to love. Only when you leave danger. Oh, I'll make sure that you pay. So give a little passion to a stranger. Take this soul. No. Only when you leave danger. Oh, I'll make sure that you pay.
Only When You Leave, the new big hit for Spandau Ballet. Just after Bob Marley there. Scott Muni at 10 minutes before 5 o'clock doing British things on WNEW FM.
When the day's done, having some fun, you can count on the taste of your strolls. And count on the great taste of strolls. With a much smoother taste, the beer drinker knows. You can count on the great taste of strolls.
When you fire brew a beer in small batches, in small copper kettles, you get a beer with a much smoother taste. A taste you can count on every time.
You can count on the great taste of strolls. A fire brewed beer, the beer drinker knows. You can count on the smooth taste of strolls.
Stroh's, Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
You can count on the great taste is strong. Fire brewed beer, the beer drinker knows. You can count on the taste of your strong.
The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Dad, guess what? I got my license.
She passed the test, the little girl. She's really gonna drive. She's growing up, she's feeling proud. You can see it in her eyes.
Generations of drivers have grown up with Amoco gasoline. They rate it as America's highest quality fuel. That's why today, wherever we sell gasoline, more drivers buy Amoco than any other brand. With high mileage gasoline, we're ready to go that extra mile for you.
Expect that extra quality, good mileage all the while. Expect a better gasoline, we go that extra mile.
Dad, can I use your Amoco credit card?
Expect more from Amoco, we go that extra mile.
Stimulating, elegant, daring, exciting, absolutely gorgeous.
Who are you talking
I'm talking about the newest, chicest nightclub ever. Club New York. It's outrageous.
Club New York?
You know how I love to get physical. Music pulsating through my body nonstop. The energy, the lights, the people, the fantasy. Club New York. There's no better place to do it.
I don't feel like hiking in Manhattan tonight.
No, Club New York is New Jersey's spectacular new nightlife experience. And the clientele is very exciting.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, I'd like to go with you, but if you're not interested, I'm sure I can find someone to get physical with.
Hold it. We turned down a good time. Club New York. Sounds like our kind of place. Let's do it.
You maniac.
Celebrate the opening of New Jersey's most outrageous dance club, Club New York. This weekend, free admission to 11 and free valid parking. Call Club New York in New Brunswick, New Jersey at 201-247-8010.
Scottsdale 102.7 NEWFM 7 before 5 o'clock. The Human League with their hit from the British charts, Life on Your Own.
Winter is approaching, there's snow upon the ground. It's good of you to visit me, I'm glad you came around. I don't know how you found me, I didn't let you know. I only moved to this address about a week ago. I guess you think I ran out, but that's not true. Other people settle down, I never do. I always have to move on, just have to go. I've often wondered why that is, I'd like to say, but I just don't know. I guess you always wanted life on your own. I guess you always wanted life on your own. Up here the summer's shorter and winter's very cold. I'm looking forward to the peace my lonely life will hold. I'm really glad you came here, thank you for the talk. It's funny how my problems stopped when we went for a walk. Standing here together means so much. I won't forget your confidence, I won't forget your touch. You know I'll come to see you, passing through. We'll always be a world apart, I'll travel on, but I will be true. I guess you always wanted life on your own. I guess you always wanted life on your own. I guess you always wanted life on your own. I guess you always wanted life on your own.
Life on Your Own, Human League, British hit item. I'm going to say goodbye, leave you with another record coming up, and then tell you Carol Miller is standing by to rock and roll with you. And a rock and roll New York rock and roll weekend is standing by, and all sorts of good things for you, as we always plan ahead. Scott Muni, I thank you. Have a nice weekend. WNEW FM, wake me up before you go, baby. That's this hit from Wham. Rock and roll. British charts.
You feel my soul sky high when your loving starts to the boogie into my brain. It goes to bang, bang, bang till my feet can sing. Something's right, something ain't right. My best friend told me what to do last night. Left me sleeping in my bed. I was dreaming, but I should have been with you instead. Wake me up before you go. Leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. I don't wanna miss it when you hit that high. Wake me up before you go. Cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Take me dancing tonight. I wanna hit that high. Out of my way, make the sunshine brighter than a darkest day. Turn the bright spark into a flame. My beats burning and never been the same. Cause you're my lady, I'm your fool. It makes me crazy when you act so cool. Come on, baby, let's not fight. We'll go dancing, everything will be alright. Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. Don't wanna miss it when you hit that high. Wake me up before you go. Cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Take me dancing tonight. I wanna hit that high. We'll go dancing tomorrow night. It's cold out there, but it's warm in bed. They can dance, we'll stay home instead. Wake me up before you go. Leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. I don't wanna miss it when you hit that high. Wake me up before you go. Cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Take me dancing tonight. Wake me up before you go. Don't you care? Leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Take me dancing. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'm not planning on going solo. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
102.7 WNEW FM brings you Miller Time Concerts on the Pier. On Tuesday, July 24th, see the Everly Brothers.
Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye.
Thursday, July 25th, it's the Happy Together Tour with Three Dog Night, the Turtles, the Association, Gary Puckett, and Spanky and our gang. On July 27th, it's Weather Report and Angela Bofill. July 28th, Grover Washington Jr. and Pieces of a Dream. And August 1st, it's Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. That same night, it's the Greg Allman Band. Tickets for all shows are $10 and available at Ticketron, and your ticket stub for that individual show gets you to a $2 discount on admission at the Ritz. Miller Time Concerts on the Pier from 102.7 WNEW FM, New York.
A woman who could become the second Black Miss America says she's willing to assume the title. I'm Andy Fisher from The Source. And in Atlantic City last September, Suzette Charles, Miss New Jersey, was named first runner-up in the Miss America pageant. The winner, Vanessa Williams, has now been asked to resign. Pageant Chairman Albert Marks telling reporters in Atlantic City today the request has been made because of nude photographs to be published in an upcoming issue of Penthouse magazine.
She knows that the photographs in the magazine about which we spoke are so totally inconsistent with the Miss America image that to remain as Miss America would seriously jeopardize and irreversibly damage the entire Miss America pageant program and the thousands and thousands of volunteers throughout the country who worked so hard in this program for so many, many years.
If Vanessa Williams does resign, she will become the first Miss America to do so. She would be succeeded by Suzette Charles, also a black woman. In an interview today, Miss Charles said she would assume the title if asked, though she would be sorry to see it come about that way. You're listening to The Source. The Republican National Convention in Dallas, which will officially launch the re-election campaigns of Ronald Reagan and George Bush, is still a full month away, but the campaigns are clearly underway already. Correspondent David Rush tells us the White House was listening closely to Walter Mondale's speech in San Francisco last night, accepting the Democratic nomination and taking the Republicans to task on fiscal policies.
The rebuttal was not long in coming. White House spokesman Larry Speakes went to great lengths to pick apart the Mondale statements on taxes. Speakes said he was not surprised that Mondale announced he would raise taxes, but he disputed the Democratic candidate's assertion President Reagan himself has a secret plan to raise taxes. Speakes characterized secret plan as a worn-out phrase in American politics.
Correspondent David Rush at the White House. And 2 new world records have been set at a track and field event in East Berlin, featuring athletes from Soviet bloc nations boycotting the Los Angeles Olympics. The new marks were set by German javelin thrower Uwe Hone and Bulgarian high jumper Ludmila Andanova. And that's news. I'm Andy Fisher from The Source.
Well, if you take River Road to the harbor and you make a right, there's a rockin' little place where the gang meets every night. They got a jukebox there that plays all our favorite songs. When they set them, you know, everybody sings along. They say, welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your dusty sound like you're the rich. Smooth taste of Miller beer. What you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time. It's a little far out, but it's not far out of the way. Got the very best beer for the very best part of the day. Welcome, you know you're welcome. Welcome, everybody's welcome. Welcome to Miller Time. Yours and mine.
Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And this is Carol Miller on WNEW FM. We have a traffic check.
We have a traffic jam eastbound on the Grand Central Parkway. We're slow past LaGuardia. Also heavy from Jewel Avenue out to the Van Wyck. Southbound on the Van Wyck all the way from Jewel Avenue to Hillside. You'll find it bumper to bumper. Northbound on the FDR, slow from the 20s to the 100s. The problems and stalls at 67th Street and 105th Street. Keep it to the right. That'll help a little bit. Northbound on the West Side Highway, we're better but not good. Heavy from the 80s to the 140s. Eastbound on the Cross Bronx, slow from the Deegan to Webster Avenue. Westbound, heavy from the Bruckner to 3rd Avenue. The Throgs Neck is better than the Whitestone, Holland, and Lincoln Tunnels. A 15-minute wait to get out. And George Washington Bridge, 20 minutes. I'm Judy Herron in the Blaupunk Diary System for WNEW FM.
Thank you, Judy. And we are into a Friday evening in New York City. A lot of concerts happening around the area this weekend. Tonight, 38 Special and Night Ranger out at Nassau Coliseum.
Sister Christian, oh, the time has come, and you know that you're the only one to say, okay, where you going, what you looking for, you know those boys don't wanna play no more with you, it's true. much in life. Don't you give it up before your time is done. It's true. It's true. What's your price for flight? You got him in your sight, driving through the night. Motoring, what's your price for flight? And finding is the right. You'll be alright tonight. Sister Christian, know the time has come, and you know that you're the only one to say, okay. But you're motoring, yeah,
It's WNEW FM. How about some Southern rock with Leonard Skinner? On NEW FM, we're starting off with a rock and roll weekend for you and a very, very special edition of Metal Shop tonight at 12 midnight. There's going to be an interview with Ted Nugent and a lot of metal music. You're going to want to be listening.
WNEW FM and Grossingers invite you to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Woodstock Festival. Join Dave Herman as he hosts two special concerts. On Friday, August 3rd, it's John Sebastian, and Saturday, August 4th, it's David Clayton Thomas. Before John Sebastian, join us for a special welcome party. Then on Saturday, join us prize for an exciting screening of Woodstock, the movie. Also on Saturday, enjoy a bus trip to the original Woodstock grounds. For information, call in New York State, 800-874-7480. And outside New York, 800-431-6300.
There's excitement in the air at your New York, New Jersey, Fairfield County Pontiac dealers. The birds are here, and are they affordable? Pontiac 2000 Sunbirds, 2 doors or 4, and one of the best-looking convertibles on the road today. Affordable? The Pontiac 2000 Sunbird Coupe is sticker price just $79.95. And that $79.95 includes factory air, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, and rear window defogger. Or put yourself into a sleek, pulse-pounding Pontiac Firebird with the same great options, sticker price just $99.82. Sunbird excitement for $79.95. Firebird excitement for $99.82. Both with the options most want. Manufacturer's suggested retail price, including dealer prep, taxes, license, destination charges, and other optional equipment additional. So test drive your bird now at your New York, New Jersey, Fairfield County Pontiac dealer. We deal in excitement and we make it affordable.
Yes, Cosmetic Surgery Center, Park Avenue, and the College and Institute are happy to announce the opening of our newest and most modern center on Madison Avenue. It's in the heart of Midtown Manhattan, convenient for commuters, out-of-towners, and for lunch hour and after-work appointments. And, as always, only our dress is expensive. Just as thousands of people over the years have come to trust the team at Personal Best, you too will find free consultations, a warm and friendly atmosphere, sensible and affordable fees, flexible and insurance payment plans, and best of all, caring specialists in every field of cosmetic surgery. Because, after all, that's what Personal Best is. A team approach. You and us working together to help you look your very best. Your personal best. So take a look at us. We're the fresh face in cosmetic surgery. And now we're the collagen people too. Cosmetic surgery by Personal Best. Don't do it for anyone but yourself.
To find the qualified plastic surgeon, look for the Personal Best Center nearest you. For information, call 212-410-9600. That's 212-410-9600.
And to find the qualified radio station for you with all your favorite rock and roll, just tune in 102.7 WNEW FM, where rock lives.
Early in the morning I can't sleep. I can't work and I can't. I feel drunk all day, can't concentrate. Maybe I'm making a big mistake. Got me down like a killer shark. It's like a mirror running right through my heart. Checking on how the way I behave. Feel like I'm running on an empty cage. Oh no, not again. It hurts so good, I don't understand. Infatuation. Infatuation. Heartbeat sounding like a big bass drum. Losing all equilibrium. It's so hard in the middle of the week. Maybe this is just all I need. Oh no, not again. It hurts so good, I don't understand. Infatuation. 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 just what I need. Oh, yeah. What is so good? I don't understand. Congratulations.
Kashmir, Led Zeppelin, where rock lives, 102.7 WNEW FM on a rock and roll weekend. And welcome to Miller Time. You're with Carol Miller. This hour of my show is brought to you with limited commercial time by our friends at Miller High Life. 79 degrees, partly cloudy right now in the city tonight, increasing cloudiness. Low near 70 tomorrow, partly cloudy. A chance of showers for the afternoon. Isn't that too bad for the weekend? Thunderstorms developing 80 to 85. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Upper 60s. And the outlook for Sunday, partly sunny, encouraging, high in the mid-80s. If your nonprofit group or organization would like free publicity for a service or an upcoming event, you can write to Mr. Marty. He's our public service director at NEW-FM 655 3rd Avenue, New York, New York 10017. Stand by for something brand new.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsties up right here. The rich, smooth taste that Miller gives is what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsties up right here. You got the time, we got the beer for what you have in mind. Welcome, welcome, you're welcome to Miller Time. Yours and mine.
Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And you're with Carol Miller on NEW-FM. I'd like to say hi to our friends in the Bronx listening tonight. Thanks for calling up. Here it is. It's brand new from Sammy Hagar. It's called Two Sides of Love.
You never hear about it. It's not the thing you talk over with friends. You never see it coming until it begins. But something stepped in between us. It's taken all of our time alone. In a heart-broken maze When I was a young boy, simple with those young boy ways. Now that I'm getting older, so much older, I long for those young boy days with a girl like you, with a girl like you. Lord knows there are things we can do, baby. Just me and you, come on, baby. That's so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. That's so good. Don't have to be so exciting. Just trying to give myself a little bit of fun, yeah. I always look so inviting. You ain't as green as you are young. Hey baby, it's you. Come on girl, now it's you. Sink your teeth right through my bones, baby. Let's see what we can do. Come on and make it up. Hurt so good. Come on baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. Hurt so good. I ain't talking no big deals. I ain't made no plans, my friend. I ain't talking no high heels. Walk around all day long. Walk around all day long. It's so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. It's so good. It's so good. Come on, baby. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. It's so good. with me, little girl, on a magic pulpit ride. Well, you don't know what we can see.
A little bit of vintage Steppenwolf on NEW FM, and this hour of my show has been brought to you by Miller High Life. It's the best beer for the best time of day. Welcome to Miller Time.
NYC, New York, New York, New York, New York City, New York City, New York, New York, New York, New York, just like I pictured it. Manhattan, babies, New York, New York, and number one. They want to find more than she turns on a New York station. You know what life is saved by rock and roll.
It's a New York rock and roll weekend from 102.7 WNEW FM.
myself. I want you tonight, I want you with me, and make me guilty of love when we first agree. We're going to stop, say walk right, we talk right, your hair's so wild. That's not what I mean. We go down into the shadows and crawl between. Moonlight in the city, brings a vision to your eyes. Bring it to the moment, leave it paralyzed. Bring it in motion, say things in my ear. Bring on the rhythm when I hold you near. Take me in your arms, roll me to the light. Take me to your heart, let me tonight. Alright, your passion is sweet, the school in the arts, romance and name. You're in for the ride, can you feel the blood pound way down inside? Another one stopping us now, we go down, down, where the music's loud. Yeah, it's alright by me, go and play all my love, play it all for me. Life's too easy, we can make it if we try. Taking our chances side by side. Living every moment, only we can agree. Gonna take me where I want to be. Take me in your arms, roll me to the night. Take me to your heart, let me tonight. Take me in your arms, it's alright. Take me to your heart, let me tonight. Time to love, all the time. Slip beyond all the light. Who we are, where we belong to be. Yeah, every night, hear the sound. Wake it up and break it down. Find a chance, keep it on. Take me in your arms, roll me to the light. Take me to your heart, look me tonight. Take me in your arms, it's alright. Take me to your heart, take me, look me tonight. Take me in your arms, take me to the light. Take me to your heart, look me, look me. Look and roll me.
Got the New York Rock and Roll Weekend at 102.7 WNEW FM. We're saluting New York artists all weekend long, and it's our very own Billy Squire. This is for Yonkers.
Now everybody, have you heard? If you're in the game, well then the stroke's the word. Don't take no rhythm, don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing, think about it. Woo! Right hand out, give a about that one big break. Spread the ear pollution both far and wide. Keep your contributions by your side. It's strongest of men. Could be a winner, boy, and quite well. Strongest of men. Strongest of men. You got your number down. Strongest of men. Say you're a winner, man. Just a sinner now. Put your left foot out. Keep it all in place. Work your way right into my face. First you try to bend me and make my backbone slide. But when you find you bled me, skip on down, keep on. Give me the business all night long. You start together, boy. Say you're a winner, but man, you're just a sinner. Said it ain't no joke. Let your conscience fail ya. Just do a stroke. Don't you take no chances. Keep your eye on top. Do your fancy dances. You can't stop. You just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Say you're a winner, man. Sit down. Strong up pretension to fall for you at first sight. You know their business, yet they get some more. They make you restless, it's nothing you ain't seen before. Getting around town, spend your time on the run. You never let down, so you do it for fun. You never miss a plan, or you make quite a up around the same. You got your dollars, you can't move it all. You take your pension and loneliness and alcohol. Saving lives, conventional ways. You can't escape the odds, you're the trick of the days. The more you understand, the more like you do. You never get away. Everybody wants you.
Everybody wants Billy Squire at 102.7 WNEW FM, where rock lives. It's a rock and roll weekend, and each hour we're saluting a major New York artist that are your favorites. And Billy Squire, he's originally from Boston, but he's been living in New York for a while. He used to be, if you remember, the lead singer of a group called Piper, and they opened up for Kiss at the Garden, I think 1977. Piper didn't do that much, but then Billy went out on his own, and the rest is history.
Bruce Springsteen named his first album Greetings from Asbury Park. But that New Jersey summer resort is not the town where the boss was born and bred. Can you guess Bruce's real hometown from the hints coming up on Rock Quiz Bruce Springsteen Weekend? Brought to you by the U.S. Army.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. It's been tough, rough going, but you haven't gone alone. Helping hands beside you, friends to bring you through. So much that they've shown you, so much you can do.
A lot of bright young people with high school behind them and the world ahead of them are making the most of the modern Army. They're learning skills that could help them in the future. It's a great way to serve your country as you serve yourself.
All that you can be, oh yeah. Growing strong now, strong together. Be all that you can be. You can do it in the Army.
Call your Army recruiter. The number is in the yellow pages. Paid for by the U.S. Army.
Asbury Park is not the place where Bruce Springsteen was born and bred. But which New Jersey town was it? Was it Freehold, where Bruce saw, next door to his home at Ducky Slattery's gas station, his first pink Cadillac? Was it Neptune, which is also the hometown of Bruce's pal, Southside Johnny? Or was it Long Branch, a town very much like a smaller version of nearby Asbury Park? Was the New Jersey town where Bruce Springsteen was born and bred Freehold, Neptune, or Long Branch? Rock Quiz Bruce Springsteen Weekend is brought to you by the U.S. Army. A place to be all you can be.
Oh, this is definitely better than your chemistry regions. We're going to be doing a rock quiz about Bruce Springsteen all weekend long, and if you know the answer to this rock quiz, call 212-955-WNEW right now. I'll take the first caller at random who knows the correct answer, and they'll win a full-color 3 feet by 3 feet poster from Bruce Springsteen's eagerly awaited #1 album, Born in the USA. It's available on Columbia Records and cassettes, so give me a call. Come on.
In 1983, R.E.M. were the most talked about combo, but that was last year. This is the year of reckoning. R.E.M. R.E.M. Reckoning, the second album in chrome cassette on IRS.
And R.E.M. is coming to the Beacon Theater July 22nd. Meet R.E.M. at J&R Music World, 23 Park Road, tomorrow, 1 to 3 p.m.
Stimulating, elegant, daring, exciting, absolutely gorgeous.
Who are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about the newest, chicest nightclub ever, Club New York. It's outrageous.
Club New York?
You know I love to get physical. Music pulsating through my body non-stop. The energy, the lights, the people, the fantasy. Club New York. There's no better place to do it.
I don't feel like hiking into Manhattan tonight.
No, Club New York is New Jersey's spectacular new nightlife experience. And the clientele is very exciting.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, I'd like to go with you. But if you're not interested, I'm sure I can find someone to get physical with.
Hold it. We turned down a good time. Club New York. Sounds like our kind of place. Let's do it.
You maniac.
Celebrate the opening of New Jersey's most outrageous dance club, Club New York. This weekend, free admission to 11 and free valid parking. Call Club New York in New Brunswick, New Jersey at 201-247-8010.
And you're with Carol Miller at 102.7 WNEW FM. Congratulations to Ivan Nissenberg of West Orange. He knew that Bruce's hometown was Freehold, New Jersey, and he wins the Bruce poster. Thanks for listening to NEW FM, where rock lives in the New York City area.
Everything you say, and no place that I'd rather be. Where else can you do 500,000 things, all at 2:45? When they play their music, ooh, that modern music, they like it with a lot of style, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Now the other one may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Hollywood and the Sunset Strip is something everyone should see. Neon lights and the pretty, pretty girls all dressed so scantily. When they play their music, that hard rock music, they like it with a lot of flash, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really, really gets them in the. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Now the other one may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. In the Liberty Town, Boston and a Baton Rouge, Tulsa, Austin, Oklahoma City, Seattle, San Francisco, too. Everywhere there's music, real live music, bands with a million styles, but it's still that same old rock and roll music that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Now the other one may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Yeah. In Cleveland, Detroit, the heart of rock and roll. soul. I reminisce about the days of old, that old time rock and roll. Won't go to hear 'em play a tango. I'd rather hear some blues or funky old soul. There's only one sure way to get me to go. Stop playing old time rock and roll. Call me a red, call me what you will. Say I'm old fashioned, say I'm over the hill. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes the soul. I reminisce about the days of old, with that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes the soul. I reminisce about the days of old, with that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes the soul. I reminisce about the days of old, with that old time rock and roll. I still like that old time rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes the soul. I reminisce about the days of old, with that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll.
On WNEW FM, we got the old-time rock and roll and the brand new rock and roll. This is Scandal.
Run away. It's your heart that to betray. Feeding on your hungry eyes. I bet you're not so civilized. Well, isn't love primitive? A wild gift that you wanna give. Break out of captivity and follow your stereo jungle town. Loving the kill, your heart's still wild. Even as the walls are falling, bang, bang. I am the warrior. Well, I am the warrior. And hard to win if you survive. The warrior. The warrior. You talk to me. Your eyes touch